Genius is rarely recognized at the time it occurs. Greatness most often realized not in the moment, but rather in retrospect. As President Trump waged his unique battle to get North Korea's dictator Kim Jong-un to the bargaining table, he was roundly criticized for his style, telling Kim Jong-un as he continued to launch his nuclear warheads on intercontinental ballistic missiles that Kim would be met with fire and fury like the world has never seen. And Trump threatening in no uncertain terms that his nuclear button was bigger and more powerful than the dictator's. And in that back and forth, Kim threatens to send a birthday gift on Independence Day to the American bastards. The name-calling was unprecedented. Madman, rogue, gangster, frightened, barking dog, dotard, rocket man, little rocket man. The criticism, of course, by the American media was relentless. The narrative was that Trump was instigating a nuclear holocaust, that the United States was giving Kim Jong-un no out other than nuclear war. This, in spite of the fact that Kim was repeatedly launching ballistic missiles, threatening their reach to Guam, Hawaii, and the mainland. Trump, of course, in his usual fashion, was undeterred, all the while continuing to impose a slew of economic sanctions, warning that if forced to defend ourselves or our allies, we would have no choice but to totally destroy North Korea. So here we are, March 10th. Little rocket man seeking to sit down with the President of the United States. Never in our history or theirs has this happened. No other president could accomplish this. Not Jimmy Carter, Ronald Reagan, George H.W. Bush, not Bill Clinton, not George W. Bush, and certainly not Barack Obama. All either incapable or unwilling to confront a predictable impending disaster that Trump warned of in 1999, long before he became president. Don't believe me? Listen to the president just 2 hours ago.
You know, they're saying, oh, well, Obama could have done that. Trust me, he couldn't have done that. He wouldn't have done that. He would not have done it. And by the way, neither would Bush and neither would Clinton. And they had their shot. And all they did was nothing.
In the case of Bill Clinton, it's even worse. He gave more than $4 billion to Kim's father in exchange for North Korea's disbanding and dismantling its nuclear weapons program.
This is a good deal for the United States. North Korea will freeze and then dismantle its nuclear program. South Korea and our other allies will be better protected. The entire world will be safer as we slow the spread of nuclear weapons. The United States and international inspectors will carefully monitor North Korea to make sure it keeps its commitments.
Yeah, that worked out real well, Bill. Not only did they not keep their commitment, they built a nuclear armament to threaten our people. So much for the Bill Clinton, Neville Chamberlain appeasement approach to dictators. As far as George Bush in 2008, he did his part in appeasing Kim Jong-il by actually removing, I said removing, North Korea from the American State Department's list of state sponsors of terrorism. He really had a grasp on the issues, that one. And Barack Obama, in his inimitable fashion and with language we've all heard before, said he was going to, quote, work with all the interested partners in the international community to take appropriate steps to let North Korea know they cannot threaten other countries with impunity. Now, what does that mean? Whatever it meant, it didn't scare Kim. Now, instead of recognizing the historic moment and the genius that got a wackadoo madman to the bargaining table, the mainstream media chooses to heap criticism on Donald Trump when their own champions accomplished absolutely nothing.
In some ways, the president kind of got boxed in here. He couldn't say no to this invitation.
There is no way that President Trump can be ready by May to have a high-stakes negotiation on denuclearization on the Korean Peninsula. It's just impossible. You can't wing it. Kim Jong-un is going to be fully prepared. I think that he's playing to the president's ego and the president's weaknesses.
It's not as if you have a president like Eisenhower, who was schooled in diplomacy and politics and the military, who knew these issues. This president doesn't read, and he doesn't study, and he doesn't prepare.
And of course, the New York Times says that Donald Trump could end up being played by Kim like, quote, a gold-plated violin. But one more thing. Kim Jong-un knows full well that he comes to discuss full-blown denuclearization, full nuclear disarmament, not a freeze, not a reduction. And he also knows he is not dealing with a Barack Obama who buckles to dictators like in Iran when he caved and gave $150 billion, taxpayers' dollars, to so-called stop the development of a nuclear bomb. And get this, we're not even in a position to verify or monitor if there is nuclear disarmament or even do site inspections. And rest assured, there will be no cash sent on unmarked planes in various world currencies. Count on a new and totally different agreement with teeth with Donald Trump. It was Trump's genius in crippling economic sanctions that brought this dictator to his knees. And although the mainstream media is worried, predicting that Trump will be outsmarted and outplayed by this dictator, in truth, the only people who need to be worried are the North Koreans. Donald Trump is more than the man Kim thinks he is. He has already outsmarted him, and that can get us a peace deal that will certainly last a long, long time.
And I think it's gonna be a long, long time till touchdown brings me round